From the labs of scientific discovery to the most sensitive corners of our medical records, artificial intelligence is not just reshaping our world, it's quietly, fundamentally, altering the very fabric of human agency and accountability.
Tonight on Truth Report, we're dissecting two pivotal developments, one a stark warning from the prestigious journal Nature, the other, a cutting-edge, yet concerning, application of AI in healthcare. These stories aren't just about technology, they're about control.
We'll expose how AI is being framed as an aeroplane for the mind in scientific research, and question who exactly is in the cockpit. Are we truly responsible pilots, or merely passengers on a journey dictated by algorithms?
And we'll delve into the audacious use of large language models, or LLMs, to extract highly sensitive medical data from patient reports. What happens when the promise of efficiency clashes with the absolute necessity of accuracy and privacy in healthcare?
The truth, as always, is far more complex than the headlines suggest. We're witnessing a subtle, yet profound, transfer of responsibility and power from human experts to opaque systems. The implications are staggering and largely unaddressed.
Our first story takes us into the accelerating world of scientific research, where AI is no longer just a tool, but an increasingly integrated partner in discovery. But a recent article in the journal Nature issues a powerful caution.
Indeed, Maya. Published online this March 2026, the piece is titled AI Agents Are Aeroplanes for the Mind, 5 Ways to Ensure That Scientists Are Responsible Pilots. It paints a picture of AI taking on more of the scientific workflow, but with a critical caveat.
The authors argue that the central goal should never be complete automation. Instead, it must be about designing platforms that meticulously preserve human creativity, responsibility, and even the element of surprise that often sparks groundbreaking discovery. This isn't just about efficiency, it's about the soul of science.
They warn against the alluring, yet dangerous, ideal of superhuman AI or fully autonomous AI scientists. The metaphor of AI as an aeroplane for the mind is compelling, suggesting these systems extend our capabilities. But who defines a responsible pilot, and what happens when the flight plan goes awry?
Nature directly challenges the notion that AI should simply replace human intellect. It insists on human-AI collaboration, with robust human oversight. But in a competitive research environment, driven by pressure to publish faster and more, how realistic is this ideal of cautious collaboration?
That's precisely the crux of it. The article, in its essence, calls for 5 specific principles to guide this integration. They likely advocate for preserving human agency, ensuring clear oversight, defining accountability, fostering serendipity, and maintaining transparency. But these are difficult and often costly principles to uphold.
If these principles aren't rigorously followed, we risk what some call black box science. Discoveries made by AI, but not truly understood by human researchers. What does that do to peer review, to scientific debate, or even to the public's trust in scientific findings if the underlying mechanisms are impenetrable?
It fundamentally erodes the very foundation of scientific inquiry. We're seeing a push, often from well-funded private entities and even government grants, towards accelerating research at all costs. This incentivizes rapid deployment of AI, potentially overlooking critical ethical considerations and the need for human validation.
And let's not forget the potential for algorithmic bias. If AI models are trained on existing scientific literature, which itself may reflect historical biases in research funding, demographics studied, or even disciplinary focus, then AI could inadvertently perpetuate or even amplify those biases.
That's a chilling thought. We could be creating scientific discoveries that are inherently skewed, benefiting only certain populations or ignoring critical aspects simply because the underlying AI was built on incomplete or biased data. This isn't progress, it's systemic intellectual blindness.
Beyond bias, there's the subtle killing of researchers. If AI handles routine data analysis, hypothesis generation, or literature review, do future generations of scientists truly develop the critical thinking and nuanced intuition that have historically defined groundbreaking work? Or do they become mere operators of advanced software?
This benefits the corporations developing these sophisticated AI platforms. They become indispensable providers, effectively gatekeepers to advanced research. Institutions that can afford these tools gain an advantage, further concentrating scientific power and influence.
Who loses? Independent scientists, smaller institutions, and potentially, the very integrity of the scientific process itself. If the public perceives science as an opaque, algorithm-driven enterprise, rather than a human endeavor, trust will inevitably erode.
And this erosion of trust isn't just an abstract concern. It directly impacts public policy, medical advancements, and our understanding of the world. When major breakthroughs are attributed to an AI, and human oversight is minimal, where does the ultimate responsibility lie if those breakthroughs prove flawed or even harmful?
This connects directly to broader power structures. The massive investment in AI research, often from tech giants, means that the direction of scientific inquiry can be subtly, or not so subtly, influenced by corporate agendas. Profits over true, unbiased discovery.
Absolutely. There's a glaring absence of independent regulatory bodies specifically tasked with overseeing the ethical deployment and accountability of AI in scientific research. We're trusting powerful private entities to self-regulate in an area that impacts global well-being. This is a profound systemic failure. From the complex world of scientific discovery, we now turn our focus to an equally sensitive domain, healthcare. Our second story highlights the cutting edge of AI application, but also exposes its inherent risks.
Reporting from AR14, a preprint server, a paper announced in February 2026 details the automated extraction of unstructured post-SBRT toxicity data from radiology reports using large language models. This is about using AI to delve into highly personal patient information.
Specifically, researchers evaluated the viability of using a large language model, or LLM, the Llama 3.3-70b Instruct model, to be precise, to extract patient-specific toxicity and progression outcomes. This wasn't from neatly organized databases, but from the messy reality of unstructured radiology reports.
They retrospectively extracted 160 follow-up CT and Peru time/Central Time electronic medical record notes for patients treated with lung stereotactic body radiotherapy, or SBRT, at their institution. This covered a timeframe from January 2017 through December 2023. This is real patient data, Alex.
The promise here is clear: efficiency. Medical records are notoriously complex, often containing vast amounts of unstructured text. Automating data extraction could free up countless hours for medical professionals, theoretically leading to faster insights and better patient care. But the devil, as always, is in the details.
Precisely. The use of an LLM like Llama 3.3-70b Instruct, while powerful, introduces significant risks. Unstructured medical reports contain nuance, colloquialisms, and implicit information that even human experts can sometimes misinterpret. How does an algorithm, however advanced, truly grasp these subtleties without error?
And the unstructured nature of these reports means context is everything. A single word can change the meaning of an entire paragraph. If the LLM makes a mistake, if it misunderstands a physician's note or misclassifies a symptom, the consequences for patient care, for research, or even for legal liability could be catastrophic.
The paper mentions engineered prompts, which implies that the accuracy of the extraction is heavily dependent on how the LLM is instructed. This isn't just about the model, it's about the human skill and foresight in guiding it, and any slight deviation in those prompts could lead to drastically different, potentially erroneous, outcomes.
Let's talk about Llama 3.3-70b Instruct. Who developed this specific LLM? What are its known biases? Is it transparently audited for its performance across diverse patient populations, or is it another proprietary black box solution being applied to life and death decisions? These details are often obscured.
This brings us to data privacy. While this study was retrospective, implying anonymization, the sheer act of processing such sensitive medical information by an external AI model raises serious questions. Who owns this extracted data? What are the safeguards against re-identification, and what are the implications for patient consent?
And the most critical question, accountability. If this LLM, or any similar system, extracts incorrect toxicity data, leading to a delay in treatment, a misdiagnosis, or a flawed research conclusion, who bears the responsibility? Is it the developer of the LLM? The institution that deployed it? The doctor who trusted its output?
The current legal and ethical frameworks are woefully unprepared for this blurring of lines. Medical decision-making is supposed to be a human domain, with clear professional ethics and legal accountability. Introducing opaque AI systems into this process creates an unprecedented liability vacuum.
So, who benefits? Primarily, the hospitals and healthcare providers looking for efficiency gains and cost savings. Also, the developers of these LLMs, who stand to gain lucrative contracts by selling their AI solutions to a data-rich, yet resource-constrained, healthcare sector.
And who loses? Potentially, every patient whose sensitive medical data is processed by these systems. They risk misinterpretation, privacy breaches, and a diminishing of the human element in their care. They become data points, processed by algorithms, with little agency.
We also have to consider the medical professionals themselves. While some tasks may be automated, there's a real risk of killing radiologists or other specialists who previously handled these complex data extraction and interpretation tasks. Over-reliance on AI can dull critical human faculties.
This is part of a larger trend where big tech companies are aggressively moving into the healthcare sector, not just as vendors, but as controllers of critical data infrastructure. They stand to gain immense power by managing and interpreting the most intimate details of our lives.
And once again, the regulatory landscape is playing catch-up. There's no robust, independent regulatory body with the power to truly audit, validate, and hold accountable AI systems used in medical diagnosis or treatment. The rapid deployment often outpaces any meaningful oversight.
Alex, when we look at both these stories side by side, a clear and deeply concerning pattern emerges. Both are published in early 2026, signaling that these aren't future hypotheticals, but immediate, unfolding realities.
Exactly, Maya. Whether it's scientific discovery or medical data analysis, the narrative is consistently one of AI as an efficiency enhancer, a powerful tool. Yet, beneath that gleaming surface, both articles expose a systemic transfer of control and a profound diffusion of responsibility.
The aeroplanes for the mind metaphor in nature sounds empowering, but it begs the question, who is truly designing these aeroplanes, and who truly holds the controls? And in the AR-14 paper, the LLM extracting medical data acts as a proxy decision-maker, without the human ethical framework.
This is the illusion of assistance versus the reality of decision-making. AI isn't just helping, it's increasingly making choices, interpreting data, and influencing outcomes in ways that are opaque to human understanding and often outside direct human intervention.
The critical role of accountability in both science and healthcare is being fundamentally undermined. When the human link in the chain of responsibility is weakened or removed, errors become harder to trace, blame becomes harder to assign, and true redress becomes almost impossible.
This leads directly to the chilling prospect of corporate or state entities leveraging powerful, opaque AI systems for unprecedented control over critical sectors. They manage the data, they control the algorithms, and they dictate the narratives of truth and health. The profit motive often trumps safety.
Who decides what's ethical? Who decides what's safe? When the speed of innovation is prioritized above all else, and the corporations developing these systems face minimal external oversight, the public is left vulnerable. This isn't just about technology, it's about the future of human governance. The implications are clear, we are at a critical juncture. The promise of AI is immense, but so are the risks, particularly when human agency and accountability are sacrificed at the altar of automation and efficiency.
We must demand transparency from those developing and deploying these powerful AI systems. We need independent, robust regulatory bodies with the authority to audit, to validate, and to hold corporations and institutions fully accountable for the decisions their AI makes.
It is imperative that we, as citizens, as patients, as researchers, refuse to passively accept a future where our most vital functions are outsourced to opaque algorithms. We must understand the limitations, question the narratives, and insist on human oversight.
The truth is, the future of our scientific integrity, our healthcare systems, and our very human sovereignty depends on our vigilance today. Don't let the promise of progress blind you to the quiet transfer of power. For Truth Report, I'm Alex Truth.
And I'm Maya Clarity. Good night.